Welcome to African Gardening. Today I'm going to be teaching you and showing you how to grow very large soursop fruits. So in the next few minutes we're going to be talking about all the things you need to do to ensure you have fruits that are as big as this. I mean, look at this. This is heavy. This is very heavy. Unfortunately, I don't even have a scale to weigh this, but if you ask me, this thing, it's about almost it's close to 3 kgs. It's extremely heavy. You can see the size of my hands beside it. My hands, I have large hands, it's quite small. So you can have soursop fruits that are well shaped like this and that are this size if you follow these tips that I'm going to be giving in the next couple of minutes. So number one, the first thing you're going to do to get large fruits like this is you need to ensure that your flowers are properly pollinated. So you have two options to ensure your flowers are properly pollinated. The first option is to ensure that you have lots of natural pollinators. The natural pollinators of soursop flowers, they are not bees, they are not flies, they are actually beetles. And scarab beetles are the most efficient pollinators of soursop flowers. You know, they are attracted by the smell of the stigma of a flower when the flower is open and ready for pollination. The second option you have to have fruits that are this large is hand pollination. So I already have a video that shows you how to successfully pollinate your soursop flowers by hand. If you follow this video, you will be able to pollinate your soursop flowers properly. As you can see on the screen, that's a card there. You can click on it. It's going to take you to the videos which have done on soursop flower pollination. One other thing you need to do, as I will show you on the screen right now, you need to ensure that the surface area of the stigma of that flower is entirely covered by pollens when you are performing hand pollination. If the stigma is not fully covered by pollens, you won't have a big fruit, and even your fruit will not have this nice shape. This nice shape of a soursop flower is the evidence that the stigma has been fully covered and you have 100% complete pollination of that flower. As you can see on the screen, it's shown exactly what you need to do. For those that are not familiar with soursop flower, the stigma, that's a female part that has the ovaries, where the pollens from the stamen will get attached to ensure proper pollination. The next one, you need to ensure that your soursop is fed with nutrients, especially if you plant in the pot. You can see mine is in a 20-gallon pot, and what I do every 2 weeks, I give about 3 handfuls of cow manure. So soursops love organic matter, so that's very fun. I avoid giving chemical fertilizers to the soil. So for all my potted plants, I don't do that. What I do is I feed them with organic manure in the soil, then other chemical fertilizers that are inorganic, I apply them through the leaves, foliar application. So every 2 weeks, I apply 3 handfuls of cow manure, well composted. Then every 2 weeks, I apply calcium nitrate as well. Then a complete foliar fertilizer with macronutrients and micronutrients. The macronutrients are NPK. N stands for nitrogen, P stands for phosphorus, K stands for potassium, and the micronutrients, there are a whole lot of them, and it differs from manufacturers to manufacturer, the type of micronutrients they put. But the essential ones which you will find in any good foliar fertilizer are boron, iron, magnesium, manganese, copper, as well as molybdenum. It's very important. Then zinc also is very important. One other thing you need to do in terms of nutrients and fertilization is that once your soursop is already flowering and the fruits have been formed, you need to apply potassium nitrate to the leaves. You know, the fruits, they take up a whole lot of potassium. Most of the fruit trees, they have a very high demand for potassium, especially during the flowering and the fruiting period. So potassium nitrate too helps. It helps a whole lot. You can also apply potassium sulfate. Yes, it helps. So you apply it to the leaves, and then, you know, you get excellent results. Because once you ensure that your soursop tree has the required nutrients, then you can get large fruits like this. You can get large fruit like this. So this is already ripe, and we're going to be harvesting this. Another thing you need to ensure is that once your soursop tree is flowering, you need to have a very, very effective means of preventing pests and diseases. So common pests of soursop that will affect fruit quality are mealybugs. As you can see on the screen, mealybugs, they're a nuisance. They attach themselves to the body of the fruit and they keep sucking the sap, and I can tell you that fruit will not grow. It's going to be disfigured, and eventually it gets destroyed. So another type of pest you don't want to have around, they are fruit flies. Fruit flies are extremely destructive because what they do, they destroy the boreholes into the fruits, as you can see on the screen, and they destroy your fruit, regardless of the size. So the fruit flies show up towards the end of the ripening cycle, when the fruits are getting ripe. That's when you see fruit flies. But mealybugs, you find them throughout. You also have to get rid of aphids as well. More often than not, once you start seeing ants on your soursop tree, that means there are mealybugs around, because the mealybugs is what actually provide the ants with the sugary stuff from, you know, mealybugs. They release a lot of sap, which are sugary, and the ants are interested in this. So you need to ensure that pests like mealybugs, aphids, fruit flies, you know, you have to be able to deal with them. Ensure that you deal with them so that they don't destroy your soursop tree. So also you should ensure that you apply fungicides regularly. Why? Because anthracnose, it's a very, very bad disease of soursop trees. What does it do? It not only affects the leaves or infect them by discoloring them, as you can see on the screen, it also destroys fruits, as you can see on the screen. As you can see on the screen, you can see fruits that are dark in color. And guess what? What I've noticed about anthracnose, the moment anthracnose infects your soursop fruit, the fruit stops growing big. It's going to stop there. So anthracnose causes premature ripening. It causes total destruction of the fruits. So it just destroys the fruits. And premature ripening of soursop trees, you cannot eat those fruits. Even, you know, anthracnose is so bad that it might not cover the whole area of the fruits, but guess what? The fruit becomes ripe prematurely, and sometimes they even fall off to the ground, and you have to pick them up, but then you won't like them because it's not ripe, it's not sweet. So the only way you can prevent this is by applying fungicide. And one of the fungicides I prefer to use is phosphatyl aluminium. Why? Because it has a very short pre-harvest interval, and it's a broad spectrum fungicide. A whole lot of the fungal infections that will infect the trees and the fruits, they are not resistant to the phosphatyl aluminium after repeated use. A whole lot of fungicides, you know, by the time you use them the second time, the fungal infection is already, or the fungal agent is already resistant to the fungicide active ingredient, and then, you know, it's not going to be effective again. It's not going to be effective again. There's another disease that affects the tree, and that is Phytophthora. But Phytophthora normally infects soursop trees that are planted in waterlogged areas. So if you plant your soursop in a waterlogged area, that's a big problem. And Phytophthora, it doesn't infect the fruit. What it does is it destroys the roots and it kills the trees. So any tree that is infected with Phytophthora will have poor quality fruits, very small fruits, and will eventually die. That tree will eventually die. So now I've talked about all the things you need to do. So let me just harvest this, and we can have a feel of the size. I'm going to compare it to my head, carry it, and then I'm sure you too, you desire to have large soursop fruits like this. So we're just going to go. I have to be careful. Oh my God. I hope I can carry this. Oh, woo! Look at that. Unfortunately, I brought some other flowers. I didn't see that, but that's okay. I didn't see that. That's okay. So that brings us to another topic I'll be covering. Assuming I left this will have just picked up and formed another fruit. I should have cut this here. So remember, before you harvest your soursop fruit, ensure that you don't have all the flowers that have been pollinated attached to it. So you can see I've lost these 2 flowers now, but it's okay. I mean, I pollinated about 100 flowers here, and they're just coming out of, we've harvested quite a whole lot of them, but I have lots and lots of them still in the quiescent period, in the dormancy period, and this is just coming out of dormancy. It was just waiting for me to cut this. So look at that. So you can see this. Whoa, smells really nice. So look at that size, huh? Look at that size. So that is what every soursop farmer desires, and I can tell you, if you follow all the steps I've given to you, you're gonna have fruits that are this large. It's fine. You can't find any single blemish on it. It looks really nice, and this is a very sweet variety. Whoa, it smells really nice, and I'm gonna be having a soursop smoothie today. Today is Sunday. I'm going to be having a soursop smoothie today, and as usual, it gives me the opportunity to enjoy the fruits of my labor.